All
This
right,
mo
we are live. Salam alaikum. Good afternoon. Munira Kaksi.
I am doing splendid. I'm doing very, very good. Behind me is a foggy, rainy day, but
Yeah.
inside me and around me and in our office, it's an energetic, sunny day.
Um. Well, hopefully you guys can stay out of the rain. We got pretty good weather over here. We did have like a tornado warning, man.
For
Um.
today,
No, this is a few days ago, Friday, I think. It was
is it
it
close?
was pretty wild. I don't know if it made any damage or not, but I know that like when I got home, the shingles on the roof were all like bent. We had to climb on top and fix them or whatever. So yeah, you don't have that every day.
Wow. Wow, man. Never seen tornado live, but I bet it's dangerous and
I haven't
scary.
either. You seen those tornado chasers or whatever they're called?
Yeah, I watched that. I watched that on a Discovery Channel like way back. I don't know, whatever. When I was a kid, there was a that show, Tornado, whatever, Storm Hunters or something like that,
Yeah,
and I
something
loved
like
it.
that.
Yeah, it's not. It was a nice, exciting show.
Yeah, I think you told me that I know how America finds a way to like make everything into a spectacle,
Mm.
make everything into an event, make everything into, the kings of marketing, and that's just
Nobody's
another
better.
proof.
Nobody's better. That's the proof that U.S. when it comes to making entertainment and something like that, you guys are number one in the
That
world. I
is
cannot
proof
think
that
of
US
anyone
is the
else.
greatest country in the world, man. That's what that is proof of.
Um, yeah, maybe.
Let's go. Let's recap yesterday. And
Let's do it,
welcome
man.
back to another daily updates with A&M, Aldine and Munir. We're going to go ahead and recap 422. We're doing this on 423. I don't know if this is misleading or not, but anyways, yesterday we booked 48 drivers out of 63 available drivers. There were 15 ultimately not booked. The average pit of the booked drivers was 13. I'm going to go ahead and write down for myself to check this because I don't have faith in this 13. I don't have faith that it represents what it should represent. It should represent at the time of booking what the average prime idle time was. I don't know how it's calculating, for example, some different scenarios, not to bore people watching. But 13 sounds too high for me. It might be okay for a Monday because of the weekend, but I'm gonna go ahead and check on this.
I think because the weekend might be correct. But let me give you some context about the numbers as well. I think that's more befitting.
It is.
Sometimes, those numbers can just be numbers, I guess. Yesterday was a very bad day with very good numbers in the end. I thought yesterday when we started, I said it's gonna be the best week, and inshallah, it's gonna be the best week ever. I mean, this
I
year.
mean,
Um, I thought we're going to be 60 to 65 loads a day, but if you move on the next slide, we had 56. So it's a bad day with very good numbers. So 56 compared to other days of this year is a bit above average day, but it's below what I thought we're gonna do, and it's below what we should have made when you look at the 15 drivers not booked. That's the thing, right? If you see 15 drivers not booked and you booked above average number of loads, you know that there is a boss space not used, not utilized, and or drivers not booked. That's the context really I wanted to go over with our drivers. It's not about, oh, we had a great day, we booked 56 loads, because on some other days we might come and say we had 56 loads, it was a great day. Contrary to that, in my opinion, it was not that good of a day compared, because our 15 drivers are not booked, even though the numbers were pretty good compared to other days.
I agree, man. That's what we always say. To the driver that doesn't get booked, he doesn't or she doesn't care about the ones that did get booked. So we always go into each day with that mindset. Leave no man behind, as they say. Okay. Moving on, there was 1,873 available loads. Self decline were 146 and auto decline was 139. That's another thing I'm going to have to dig into the numbers and confirm because I think that we are declining way more than 139 with the auto decline. I mean, just if you look at people's maps, for most people, half of the US is red, and every
Mm.
one of those loads should be counted as an auto decline load. So I'm going to have to go ahead and check into that. Um, the fleet utilization 76%, so 24% of our fleet was not utilized, obviously. That is way too high of a number. Dispatch declined 593 of those loads that we could have bid on. Typically, the reason is something like it picks up too far in the future or it just goes against the driver's dispatch settings. And there was 321 that expired. That's one of the biggest opportunities we have. There's still too many opportunities that we're letting expired, which means that you guys, the drivers, you're not responding to them. You might see them, you might not see them. In any case, if you can decline in those cases, it helps us know what's going on. Onward, we had 842 bids and we booked 56 total loads. It's one of the best days we've had as far as the number of loads booked. 6.77% win ratio means that our prices were too high. Just shows that we're trying to get you guys as much as we can. With 81 cents average rate per mile, it's hard to say that the prices were too high. I assume that we got some drivers out of bad areas
We did.
driving those prices down.
We did. To put context to this as well, we had high number of drivers in Cali, Arizona, Denver, Colorado. I think almost, except one guy, you will see them later in Code Red. It was in Washington. I think everyone from the West was booked, and that's a good statistic to have. Even if you need to go down on the rate, even to what was already suggested by BHX, getting out of there is especially on Mondays is crucial.
Yeah, absolutely, man. Yeah, it's always tough when people get stuck over the weekend in a bad area. Come Monday, we do what we need to get them booked. As we prioritize getting the load over getting a great rate for it.
Mm.
Um, I'll let you handle this part. You know a bit more about the details of the drivers that are waiting.
Sure thing. What I'm glad to see here, and what I'm sad to see here first of all, is some drivers that were in decent areas that were not booked yesterday, such as our driver that was in Nashville, Tennessee, 621, as the second on the list. Then we had 268 in Ohio, 531 in Tennessee. So, but we had people, some of them were in great regions, and they were not booked for different reasons. We can go deeper into them. Some of the reasons are just drivers that are home are sometimes not that active with their bidding,
Mm-hmm.
especially if they're on full yellow and they kind of pick and choose when it comes to where they're going, and we completely understand that when they're home. But we had a driver that's second on the list, Nashville, Tennessee, with decent setup. He delivered Sunday morning, and he waited until this morning. We just booked him like an hour ago. It was second on the list. We booked him to a round trip like Nashville to Atlanta, Atlanta to Nashville.
Mm-hmm.
So he's booked for today. But yesterday he had a decent setup, and we failed to book him, even though we had many bits on him. And
Mm.
we had that's the thing. That's why our win award ratio is really down to just sometimes down to how low can we go.
Mm-hmm.
Today, yesterday, and I spoke with one of the drivers that always watching this melody. I spoke with her last night, and I said like in first 4 or 5 hours of the day
Mm-hmm.
was like a horror show when it
Mm-hmm.
comes to rates. Guys, we were bidding extremely low, like extremely low on certain lanes. So we booked a driver out of Cali for 64 cents a mile total.
Mm-hmm.
All right, that's how low we had to go.
Wow.
We booked people from South Carolina for like 70 cents a mile total. Total,
Damn.
not
Total. So
BHX
there.
for total.
Yeah.
there was no other way because in the first 5 hours of the shift, guys,
By
the
total,
first
just to clarify to people what that means that's the total, meaning that the driver would have gotten 60 or 55 cents. In those cases, what we typically do is we add on so the driver doesn't have to drive for that ridiculously low rate, and we give him or her a greater part of the margin. But yeah,
yes,
I mean,
that's
typically out of those areas, if you guys are getting a 70 cents, we might be getting 80 or something like that.
and then sorry to interrupt. And then 3 p.m. onwards, like next 2 hours, 3 p.m. to 5 p.m., have been extremely busy, just contrary, or not just extremely efficient. At one point, I looked at our what we call one tab, meaning the loads that were just booked. In the span of 15 minutes, we booked like 8 drivers in the span of 15 minutes. And that's how it's the game of two halves yesterday. What was like it, and in the first half, you had to go super low to get a driver booked, super low. And then I don't know if it is just because some competition and or whatever our drivers or whoever was booked, and then there is less people available, and the rates are stabilizing. But it might be that because by the end of the day, we were booking closer to normal rates, and we were booking en masse, meaning many drivers. It was a peculiar day. Once again, to the first on the list, 188. He's home in Abilene, Texas. Already advised to move to Dallas. We have a constant problem with booking him from Abilene when he's home. He's going to go there. 069. Once again, he's in Dallas and has a very good setup. He's home, but he has a very good setup, and it's down to us to book him. And what I can say, we tried yesterday for 069 and we couldn't book him. So
Hmm.
he's number one priority. We placed many bids on 069. Has a very beautiful setup, but we didn't. So we'll do our best to get him out of there. Everyone else on the list, got available yesterday morning and was not booked. No excuse whatsoever. It's really down to case by case. We can go into it now if we had more time, of course. But the point is, we have this right here, just to make sure that we know that you guys who are watching, who are on this list, that you guys know that you're top priority. That we have been doing everything in our power and advising you as well when it comes to your bids, to get you booked, and we'll do our best today to get this resolved.
Yes, sir. Okay, onward. Okay, this is a new presentation. I like it. So yesterday we had 8 total candidates. 7 of them were cleared. One is delayed. And good job to our ops team. The Canada process typically takes, what do you say, about an hour to 2 hours on average. Maybe 2 hours an average, with
Yeah.
every once in a while one kind of dragging on for multiple days, but that doesn't happen too often. Okay, cool. Driver spotlight. William Blake, long time driver. Driver that's been in the office multiple times. It's always a fun conversation when he swings by. Been with us for I don't know, man, how many years, but I want to say at least 3, maybe
Mm,
more.
more.
More? 4?
I'm yeah, probably around 5 years.
Really?
2019 is when. Yeah, I think 2019 is when he joined.
Yeah, I'm horrible at remembering these things, but
Just to put a context again, I'm putting context today to things. 225 is the number, like, that we had right about when I joined.
oh wow.
That we were onboarding. Now we
So
have
this is BM.
6. Yeah, before Munir. Yes, to put in context, that William was before Munir. Yeah.
129 loads, 250 stops, 100% on time performance. Shows everybody that it is possible to have this with a lot of loads. The way that people do this is they leave early, they arrive early, they plan ahead, they don't assume that, the last minute they can do anything. So when you do that, when you approach it that way, on-time performance is not that difficult. But still, with over 100 loads for someone to have 100% on time shows that they're doing something above and beyond, right? Because even with our target of 98%, um, we understand that, there's going to be a couple stops every once in a while that, you don't plan correctly or something happens. So great job, William, on this and many other things. He's always been a pleasant driver to deal with. All right, man, look at Vedat coming in hot yesterday with 17 booked loads.
Why I said, man, like the second part of the day when he came in, not entirely because of Vedat, but when
I
he
don't know,
came in,
man. The statistics indicate that it was all because of Vedad.
we have to give some props to Mohammed and Haris as well. But yeah, Vedat did
Man, we're gonna
amazing.
change this too. We're gonna start showing the dispatchers win ratio because on 174 load bids to book 17 loads is an impressive statistic. It took Muammar 258 bids to book 14, took Hadis 348 to book 21. Now let me be clear. It's not because something Vedad did right or Hadis and Muammar did wrong. It's absolutely what Munir said the first half of the day. Probably what happened is it was a bad weekend for a lot of carriers. They had drivers being stuck in some area. They came in just desperate, bidding ultra low rates to get their drivers booked first half the day. And then that desperation kind of clears out by the second half, and we're able to get the normal rates put in there again. Looks like the follow-up percentage is back up over 50. Let's keep climbing that up. Let's keep increasing that. Um, I do believe, as we all do, that that follow-up can help us, book a load or two extra every day by sending that email asking for the customer to use us. Anything to mention here before we move on?
Oh, no, not really, not really. Just as you can see, Vedat is working in that shift currently where he works until 11 p.m. Central, 12 p.m. Eastern. And for those guys, especially the new guys out there, this is a lot of these loads were booked after hours, so
Yeah,
6 p.m. to 12 p.m. You guys can be booked in any part of the day. Understand that. Plan your sleep accordingly. So we don't
absolutely.
have that problem where Vedat calls you 11 p.m. and says I have a load for you. And of course we don't want that. Everyone would like that we book you 8 a.m. to 12 p.m. every day. But as you can
Absolutely.
see, yesterday is a proof that it doesn't always happen.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Like Rauda said on that one call, she rests while she's waiting for loads. All right, I'll go over the first one here. 168 miles for $400. This is an excellent load. One of those small loads that pay well. Driver probably didn't lose more than 4 or 5 hours on it, so it's an excellent way to increase that rate per mile. I know our drivers love these kind of loads, Ohio to Ontario. Next up, we got Ohio to Ontario again. Man, 265 miles for $400. So I think our minimum load pay for Canada is $400. That's why 400 is the reoccurring number here. In the past,
Hmm.
we tried to set that to 450. We end up not getting very many of them. 400 is sort of that sweet spot where we can get as much as we can squeeze out of them. We grab the customers and the brokers by the neck, squeeze every dollar out of them, and 400 is the amount that they had to give. Everything after that was just beating a dead horse or squeezing a. Well, we'll move on.
And let's move on, man. You're usually very good at those how do you say allegories?
Analogies.
Analogies, yeah. Analogies, allegories, similar. Very good.
I've never used the word. What was the word you used?
Allegory. It's
Allegory.
it's it's when you're speaking one thing and thinking about, speaking in a very symbolic way to actually say about
Yes,
something
sir.
different.
Yes, sir. Kentucky to Ontario. It was the day of Ontario. $450 for 308 miles. So that's a pretty sweet load as well. You know, you're making a
It
day, an
is.
honest day's worth of work, an honest day's worth of earning, and driving 300 miles. Probably about 5 to 7 hours is what I would guess this took. Anything to
Me.
add, Mr. Munir?
Well, Amina decided to share these kind of loads today, so these loads can be the best as well. I know for a fact that we had some long loads, we had some mid-sized loads, but particularly, I'm glad that she showed. But every load going in and out of Ontario, especially all three of those were going in Ontario. In
You know
my
what, man?
opinion,
You don't question Amina.
I don't,
That's
I don't,
that's the
I
one
don't.
number one rule in life.
That's why I said. That's why I said, man. I'm glad she showed. She shared these. When you deliver into Windsor, you're getting those sweet loads out of Windsor or Detroit. So
You know what
probably
might be fun
all of
to
these guys
do?
are booked.
To slightly modify this to say like to show the highest paying rate per mile load, the lowest paying rate per mile load, the highest gross paying load, something like that, where it's like it's not just ambiguous what's the best load. What do you think?
Yeah, it would be more. It's like putting a scientific fact next to a load. This is only a perspective or perception of Amina right now. But these are good. Let's
They
not
are.
question Amina.
They are. Okay. Onward, communication is key for a successful trip. We need successful communication. Your dispatch is available 24/7. This is one of the biggest things that shocks a lot of drivers that come. They're coming from companies that are like 8 to 5 after hours. They got to wake up the dispatch. They got to send in the SWAT team to SWAT, not squat, to wake up their dispatcher who's supposed to be helping them. Not with BHX. With us, we are truly 24/7. We advertise, we brag about how we provide the best communication to our customers. When our customers tell us, guys, are you insane? I have somebody bidding 70 cents a mile. Why the hell should I pay you 95 cents? We go, listen, customer, because we are the best. We're going to provide the best communication. We're going to be on time. We're going to be responsible. Our driver's going to come with a clean van. Our driver's going to be professional. And then when we fail to provide good communication and we're late and everything falls apart, that customer remembers that and says, man, these guys are just talk. Now, thankfully, we have an amazing group of drivers, and that doesn't happen very often. 99% of the time, our drivers provide excellent communication. And this is a reminder, please communicate with us if there's any delays. You can never call us too much. Too much communication does not exist, right? Anytime you're uncertain about something or anytime there's any kind of a delay, call us. We're going to let the customer know. Customer is going to be much more appreciative than if we just show up late. Um, Go ahead. Anything to add?
Uh, just being sometimes a broker as well. I can share with you what I can see or hear from that point as well. We have sometimes we when we try to cover, let's say, bigger trucks, there is a specific option where you choose if you want tracking or not. That's
Hmm.
how low sometimes the standards are when it comes to communication in our industry. With BHX, we always do good communication. We always do good tracking, and that's what customers will in the end like, and that's why they will use us consistently. Whereas with some other carriers that you as drivers might have worked with, not even something is not that standardized, nor it is asked from a driver. With us it's different, and that's why we have the reputation that we have with our customers, and we want to keep it. That's why it's super important for us.
Yes, sir. It's what helps us get those sweet 81 cents a mile average rates. Onward. Go ahead.
96% on time yesterday, 3 late stops. Good, can be better, of course. Perfection is what we need and what we want, but it will happen from time to time, and we'll go over it. We had 8 total stops late. We had 5 lates that were late stops that were justified and 3 late stops that were not. For all of those that are making that 77 total stops, 60, sorry, 67 total loads on time. Thank you so much. Keep doing a wonderful job.
Indeed, man. 74 on-time stops is an amazing statistic. It takes a lot of work to be on time, like we said. The goal is 98%. It's always hard to measure with a few number of loads or, fewer number of stops because one can make such a big difference. 3 late arrivals is really not that bad, but we need to, continue to work on bringing this up. So great job to those drivers that are on time. To those that are not, we are here to support you and help you improve. Moving on.
Sure, let's move on.
The only impossible journey is the one you never begin. Tony Robbins. The
Who's
only
Ton
impossible what?
Tony Robbins? Uh, Tony
He's a
Robbins.
loud guy. He's a big guy. Talks. He's a motivational speaker. He's a
Yes, yes,
yeah.
yes, yes. I had to bring his face in front of my, go deep in my mind palace. Just get like this and
Did the
go
deep
down.
voice I did help?
I did.
Awesome. The only impossible journey is the one you never begin. Absolutely, man. It's seeing what people have done throughout history that was never done before is always like fascinating to me because at the time that they were doing it, they were considered insane and crazy for thinking this is possible. Not like on a little level, but on a huge level, right? Like imagine right now there's someone out there saying like we can use water to fuel cars. The whole world would be like, this guy's insane. It's impossible. Like lock him up in a loony bin. But then someone does it, whatever that is, flying, whatever that is. Someone does it, and then it becomes like, oh yeah, that guy's a genius. So you're always going to
Mm,
be considered a failure until whatever you're trying to do kicks off. Andy Frisella talks about this often, for the first like 10 years of him owning his business. This is a local St. Louis guy. The first like 10 years of him owning his business, everyone said, do you still have that little vitamin shop of yours? And they laughed at him. Now he's got one of the biggest, if not the biggest, well, not the biggest because there's some like nationwide St. Louis based companies, but he's got one of the biggest companies in St. Louis, employs close to 500 people, I think. Awesome place to work, awesome, company, a huge company, oh, very successful, and all of the above. Um, so yeah, man, these kind of things should like drive people to try to do something that isn't commonly done. We talk about this with how it pertains to Bosna. There's certain ideologies, not ideologies, that sounds bad, but there's certain like business principles, there's certain things that, are don't really exist there because of the nature of the mindsets of people and stuff like that. And I'm motivated to bring some of those American values when it comes to the professional development and the American dream and all of that. And I think it's possible, and I think it's difficult, and I think all things worth pursuing are difficult. But yeah, the only impossible journey is the one you never begin because you never began it.
indeed. Do you see do you see this? They're still receiving a signal of that Voyager whatever one, or what was the name of that satellite, or not satellite, rocket they sent into space like in 1970s, and the rocket went and left the solar system actually, and they made it like in 90s when it left the solar system. They made it turn around and take a picture of Earth from like Neptune, like when it was leaving like the solar system, our solar system, and like the Earth is just one small blue dot in the vastness of space. They're
Hmm.
still re- they're still
I
receiving
don't. You believe in space though?
ah I do, man. Mentioned in Quran.
I believe in it too then. Okay. No, I don't I did not know that. What's the explanation behind it? How are they still
Behind what?
getting
I don't know. They.
Duracell
I don't know.
batteries?
I don't know. I'm not that smart, man. I don't know.
Okay. We'll bring in some space experts tomorrow.
Yeah, let's go,
NASA,
man.
if you're watching, comment in the comment section how they did it, or we'll set up for you to join tomorrow. All right. So, question: which cargo van model is noted for having the most configurations available, making it highly adaptive for various business needs? That's a good question.
It is. All right. Let's see what's the answer.
Mercedes-Benz Sprinter is renowned for its, I love that word, renowned, for its versatility, offering more than 1,700 different configurations through various body style, lengths, heights, and cargo space options. This makes it one of the most adaptive vans in the market, able to cater to a wide range of business requirements, from delivery services to luxury mobile offices. Absolutely, man, because it's I think it's the longest one. Anytime you see those people that convert a car sprinter van or cargo van into like a camper or like a luxury like a limousine type of service, it's always
Yeah,
Mercedes. While Melody
it
was
is.
here, I recorded actually her build, her configurations. We're gonna share that with the drivers today. It's absolutely amazing. She's got like fridge in there, she's got a bed in there, she's got storage, she's got a TV, she's got video game system in there, she's got air conditioning in there, she's got heating in there, she's got racks for her clothes, she's got storage for food. If you're going to commit to this lifestyle and you're going to spend 20 to 25 days a month on the road, you're going to sleep for 25 to 25 days in the van. Do yourself a favor, upgrade your van, take the time, invest a little bit of money into making it a nice, livable, quarter. When you're waiting for loads and you have and you have the ability to, watch movies, play video games, just chillax, and it's not just with a mattress in the middle of the van, you're going to make your life a whole lot easier. And then in between loads, when you're resting, it's much easier to get a good night's sleep on in a van like Melody's than a van where they just throw a mattress on the floor and that's that. All right, Mr. Munir, what else you got, man? Talk to me.
Talk to me. Yeah, yeah. Sprint events. You remember that one in Turkey? We drove around, like it was a limousine, or not a limousine, but luxury
I think I do.
leather style with TV inside.
Yeah,
Yeah, man, those are amazing. I've seen them here as well. We
yeah.
have a lot of
Tourists.
Dubai, Abu Dhabi Arabic tourists coming in Sarajevo, and they're just uh, they're they're they like those, I guess.
Luxury, man. The Arabs love
Yeah,
luxury, huh?
they do, man. It's like
Well, they deserve it. They're good people. They're a good bunch.
they are, they are.
What else? What else you got?
Oh, for today, nothing. Just
Nothing.
I gave you the update, guys.
You know
We
what else
want to
we're gonna
make this
add? We're gonna
what?
add random fun facts as one of these things. And it'll be just completely random. Like, did you know that an elephant has 5 legs? Stuff like that.
Oh, oh my Lord.
All right.
Oh, okay. I'll we can do that.
We'll
That's about it
conclude
then.
there. To our amazing 13 viewers, thank you. We appreciate your presence. To our amazing 4 congruent, no, concurrent means concurrent means current, right? Like currently watching viewers, you're amazing. We love you. To anyone that is not a member of BHX Logistics, what are you doing with your life? Please answer this question. You have an opportunity to join the greatest company on planet Earth, and you are choosing a lesser path. You're choosing a more difficult path. Do yourself a favor, join us. You're not going to regret it. We got those sweet 81 cent a mile average rates. We got those sweet 60 cent a mile loads. We got those sweet um, long waitings over the weekend. Um, and then we got these sweet lives. So it's a win-win-win on every category. Anything else
Join
before?
join us, and enjoy looking on these videos how awesome we are, awesome our lives are, and everything around us is awesome.
That's right.
God bless you all, and God bless USOFA and no other country in the world except Bosnia.
All right, man. Thank you for your time. We'll go ahead and stop there, and we'll be back tomorrow.